I was completely wrong about Bayer Leverkusen. Alright, so I can't believe how wrong I was about Bayer Leverkusen, guys. Let's discuss it. So, long story short, around a week ago I posted a video about Bayer Leverkusen and their massive drop in form, the downfall of Victor Boniface, and the overall decline from both a tactical and playing perspective. I got a decent amount of hate of how I'm clickbaiting, how they are currently third in the league and have just beaten Bayern Munich, or how I'm spreading rumors with very little intelligence. Yes, if you want to get a full understanding of my words a week ago, just go and check the video. But I can't help but mention the tricky part in this whole thing. At the time of making the video and gathering the facts and information, Bayer Leverkusen were indeed in poor form at the time. I wrote the script after the 1-1 draw with last-placed Bochum, then delayed it a little bit, and uploaded it just as Leverkusen started to pick up their game. So, a mixture of bad timing and my own delay was the problem here. I would like to apologize to all those hurt Leverkusen fans who felt underappreciated after the last upload. I hope you understand. On the other hand, this upturn in form gives me the perfect opportunity to analyze and delve into what exactly Leverkusen have changed to turn their fortunes around. Well, first of all, let's take a look at their impressive stats over the last 3 weeks, between the end of the international break and the win over Inter Milan. 6 wins from 6, 16 goals scored, and only 4 conceded. Yes, Javi Alonso couldn't have done me a worse favor, but I can't help but smile at this run of form. Their situation in the Bundesliga hasn't changed too dramatically, but while they've won 3 out of 3, Bayern have taken one wrong step against Borussia Dortmund at the Signal Iduna Park. What's more, they almost lost, if it wasn't for Musiala's 85th minute equalizer. So, yes, Leverkusen climbed from 4th to 3rd place, closing the gap on the leaders from 9 to 7 points. But when it came to the Champions League, this was where they really went to another level. By mid-November, or in other words after the 4-0 thrashing by Liverpool at Anfield, they were well outside the top 8, with only a slim chance of qualifying directly for the knockout stages. And given their form a month ago, it really did seem almost impossible to qualify. After the international break, however, Leverkusen improved massively, beating Austria side Salzburg 5-1, and then defeating Inter Milan in their trademark style, with a goal in added time. That's right, Loni Nordi Mukiele found himself in the penalty area and managed to slot the ball into the net. The goal was all the more impressive because it was the first time Inter had conceded in the Champions League this season. They had scored 7 goals and conceded none before traveling to the Bayer Arena to face Leverkusen. Nevertheless, Javi Alonso's side have completely changed their Champions League background with these 6 points, and are in a very favorable position to qualify in the top 8. They have 13 points, the same as 6 other teams, but one win from their remaining 2 games would probably do the trick. They have Atletico Madrid away and Sparta Prague at home, so they're in an excellent position to go through without any complications. But the big question remains, what's behind their rapid rise? Well, it certainly looks amazing how effective they have been in these 6 games. And that is probably the main reason, because they scored 16 goals in that period, which gives them an expected goal ratio of just 9.88, which is pretty impressive. That means they outperformed their expected chances by more than 6 points. Most astonishing of all, though, is that their attacking threat is not just coming from their strikers. Leverkusen are now much more fluid in attack than they were a month ago, and, most importantly, much more unpredictable. Of those 16 goals, the top scorer has been Patrick Schick, who is starting to find his form again. He scored 5, Wirtz netted 3, and the other 8 were shared between 8 different players. Well, it's safe to say that Leverkusen have successfully replaced the injured Victor Boniface. He is sidelined until at least mid-January with a hip injury, and it was expected that Leverkusen would slip further down the pecking order. However, Xabi Alonso's boys have not only managed to replace him, but are actually scoring a lot more, or an average of 0.7 goals per game, to be precise. Prior to their excellent 3-week run at the end of November and the beginning of December, Leverkusen were averaging 2 goals per game, while in their last 6 games they've increased that figure to 2.66. I don't know what Alonso has been feeding his players over the international break, but they are doing fabulously. They are close to their best form of last season and will be hoping to push Bayern even further up the table. But to do so, they must maintain this excellent form against tougher opposition. Yes, I can't overlook the fact they've scored 5 goals twice in the last 3 weeks, but they came against 16th place Heidenheim and 32nd place Salzburg. Yes, I don't want to diminish their growth, but let's see what they do next month, because they won't face a team lower than 11th in the league. Until the end of January, Leverkusen have 7th place Freiburg, 6th place Dortmund, a match which is also away, 9th Mainz 05, 11th Mönchengladbach, and 4th Leipzig. So if they can get at least 12 or 13 points out of a possible 15 in these 5 matches, that would be excellent for the build-up to the always tough February and March, especially as they would have more adventures in Europe. But has the defense changed in that time? Well, to be honest, I don't know which is more impressive, the attacking line or the defensive line. But the stats actually suggest that the defense has improved much more. Because with those 4 goals conceded in 6 games, Leverkusen are currently at .66 compared to 1.35 between August and November. This means that Leverkusen are now twice as good defensively. And the name that deserves a lot of praise is Jonathan Tah. Well, he has certainly stepped up his game as the leader of this Leverkusen defense following rumors that he would be leaving in the summer. Yes, he's unlikely to renew his contract with Bayern, with Barcelona pushing hard to make him their first signing of the 2025-26 season. In terms of his qualities, the German is one of those overlooked beasts last season. He won the Bundesliga, he won the German Cup, he played in the Europa League final, and then earned a starting spot for Germany at the Euros, right next to Antonio Rüdiger in the heart of defense. At the end of that transfer window, Barcelona and Bayern Munich were in a race against time to sign the 28-year-old, but failed to complete a deal. They both continue to pursue him, and one of them is likely to seal the deal, because Tah is truly the unsung hero behind Leverkusen's miracle last season. He is Bayern's king when it comes to defensive stability. In 2023-24, he topped the Leverkusen charts in clearances per 90, 3.2, or a total of 95 throughout the whole season. Interestingly, he was so good in this department that the second on this list was more than half below, Piero Hincapié, who only cleared the ball 42 times. Another metric in which Tah is absolutely dominant is blocks per 90, 0.8 per game in 2023-24, twice as many as Edmund Tapsoba, who was on 0.4. Well, things haven't changed much this season either. Tah leads in clearances per 90 with the same figure as Tapsoba, 2.9 per game, and is second in blocks per 90, 0.5 compared to Hincapié's 0.7. And before I bore you with all these stats, let's acknowledge that they are fundamental to being able to fully portray the importance of a player to a team's success in a particular line of play. And, well, as far as the defensive line is concerned, Tah would be very, very much missed by Javi Alonso next season. The situation with the Spanish maestro, however, is another interesting topic. Alonso has been heavily linked with Real Madrid following their struggles under Carlo Ancelotti this season. The Italian, on the other hand, has not only been criticized for failing to make some key decisions, but has also recently been linked with an international job, possibly Brazil. While those rumors have died down in recent months, the Brazilian's progress in the World Cup qualifiers could make for an interesting summer transfer saga. Speaking of Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen, Florian Wirtz is another player reportedly on Madrid's radar. The German wonder kid is one of the best in the world when it comes to creating chances, and that is exactly what Madrid had been lacking this season. A man who can take the ball, dribble past people and put it on a plate for Mbappe, Bellingham, or Vinny Jr. to score. Just imagine the hype. But before Madrid fans start dreaming, Wirtz still has a lot of work to do this season. Because, yeah, he was spectacular in the Europa League last season, but we still haven't seen his full potential in the Champions League. And there is a lot he can show at that level, especially if Leverkusen manage to keep their top 8 spot. If you reached this far and enjoyed it, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons, as well as check out our last upload on how Real Madrid's downfall marks a new era in football. See you there!